This is your crib. Turn it up.
Turn that shit up.
Audio.
So are we actually gonna be online, right? Are we online now?
Yeah.
Hello, everybody.
Let's get the interview started.
All right.
Let me slide this down. Oh well, I hold it over here for now.
I thought we'd already started.
Yeah, we
Yeah, it's all
casual
good.
conversations before, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And we're talking about important stuff like music and football.
Yeah,
You know, what else really matters?
All the things that really matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, next to food.
Yeah, well, food's up there. Food's up there, and we could throw family in if we want our wives to be happy with the fact that we did the interview.
Right.
All right, family's really important
Family is
too.
very important too.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
All right.
fire away.
Yep. All right, man. Live at Studio 225. We are here. We are chilling in
Location. Stage.
Afterlife.
The afterlife.
/ Rewind.
Yeah. So the place we're in is called Cafe Rewind. We're in the back side of Cafe Rewind on the stage now. This part is considered the afterlife.
That's correct.
Correct. All right. Cool. If you don't know, we are here with co-owner, right, of Cafe Rewind, Afterlife, and the
Linda.
Legendary Linda Theater.
Yeah,
That's right.
75 years.
Yep. 75 years for the Linda.
Yeah.
This building was built the following year.
Okay.
Yeah, post office, right?
It was a post office most recently.
Right.
Prior to that, this was an A&P grocery store.
A&P. Oh,
It was the first A&P, and you guys are a little young to remember A&Ps,
yeah.
but A&P was a small chain around northeastern Ohio back in the 50s and the 60s.
Okay.
And this was the premier location for it. Opened in 49.
So there's a lot of history in this area, right?
And it coincides with the time period when Goodyear was rocking the world with tires and rubber.
Yeah, for sure.
And, so this was kind of the playground for Goodyear employees, and people that worked at Goodyear lived in a lot of the house farms that are around here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. A lot of these homes, they stay the same. And I like what you guys done. If y'all can't see, for the most part right now, later in the video, you'll be able to see like all of the post stuff that we took. But we have, the stage is amazing. You guys get a chance to come see, you'll get to see all of the sound and the light things that they got going on. You got smoke, right? We
can fog the place up.
All of the lights are integrated with the sound.
Yep. All the lights over the top of the stage are all moving too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're all moving heads.
Oh yeah. So
A great setup for anybody who want to come and perform.
Yeah,
that's right.
Which leads us into the beginning of it. You said until you reach, because you are just opening, that you won't be able to really do everything that you want to do until next year. So now you're just renting or renting the space, right?
This space is going to be up for rental.
Okay.
And that may be how we approach using this space going forward, even after we get to a point where we have a liquor license and we can sell liquor as part of the business model. But the idea behind this room is we're not just we don't want to just be a local bar that has a band every weekend that comes in and out of their garage and just plays and maybe brings their wives or a couple of their friends.
Right.
This facility is designed to be a live performance recording studio.
Yes, full through.
And so when we have a live performance here, we will have 8 cameras around the stage, so that everybody that is in the, I could say bands because it'll mostly be bands, but we'd like to revitalize comedy in the
that's a good look.
Because I'm looking forward to the day when somebody can tease me and I can laugh, because so some of the silliness of people are,
the silliness of the world.
They get offended because you said something about something, and then you don't need to go up and bitch slap Chris Rock, because Chris Rock is always going to say funny stuff that it could be offensive to somebody, and you laugh at it because it's Chris Rock and he's so funny. Anyway, that's
That's true. That's true.
It'd be fun to get comedians like that here, but even more so next door.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Because between the two venues, this place holds one.
Well, we're currently set for 180 because even though we have a huge men's room, we just put one toilet in it.
Right.
And that's the maximum capacity, even though we have a urinal. So most guys are going to go in and use that. But, and there's two in the ladies' room, but that's just some government limitation thing. And we'll change it if we need to. But if we have a need for more than 180 people, we may just have to be doing that next door where we have 450 seats.
Yeah. Very comfortable seats, mind you.
Yeah.
We went over there. We got to sit down in the new seats. They are very comfortable.
They are.
The first row.
Recline.
Yeah, reclining front row.
That's nice. Yeah.
Really nice.
So I could imagine both having concerts and or comedy sets in
both places.
Yeah.
What we're gonna some of the things we'll do here, since that's kind of where we were at a moment ago with the idea of renting. I would like to have a situation where people come in here with the intention of performing live and making a recording of it, a video recording of them performing live. Now, if they just want us to stream it live with three or four cameras,
right,
and I'll give them a copy of the stream at the end of the night, plus it'll be on whatever YouTube page they ask me to put the address in for, or whatever. So they'll have a copy of themselves performing, which, in the case of my age group, as a baby boomer musician, we didn't do that well documenting our lives.
Yeah,
I don't have very much. I don't even have pictures of some of the bands I played in back in the late 70s and through the 80s, and that's the case with most of my generation. Whereas nowadays everybody has a cell phone. We got three of them in front of us right now, and so the amount of video content that's available today is huge. So, but that's and those are also potential customers. Certainly, the younger folks that are doing their own music would love to have the opportunity to use a live stage like this.
Absolutely.
To do a performance that they can cut up and make into video production material. And if you have a whole room full of your friends, you're going to have a great show. You're always going to play better for your friends.
Crowd feedback. And
so I anticipate that's how we'll work this room. And that doesn't mean we're not going to occasionally have a band in here, and the way you normally do bands, where you pay them at the end of the night a few $100 so that they perform, to justify them coming in and playing. But that you can do that at the corner bars all over town.
Right.
This
is a different kind of experience, I think, for the bands.
No, it definitely is. I mean, like, once you guys get to really see like how the lighting is, everything is integrated together, right? I mean, the sound, everything. Yeah. So once everybody really gets to see that, I think they understand that this is a premier place to perform.
Absolutely. And again, if it's a situation where we need more room,
right,
and we can hope that happens a lot.
Yeah.
We're going to do a lot more live performing at the Linda, and when we get to the Linda, we'll go into more detail on that. But there's an opportunity for the Linda to be a part of of us trying to bring back live music and comedy to the market. Now, I will take this moment to just share a plan that I have that's in addition to what we've talked about already, that I think is going to be attractive to the musician community, but also the comedy community. On Sundays, I want to do something. I don't really want to call it an open mic night,
right?
Because I don't want this to be our Sunday open day to be a situation where we got 20 guitar players lined up to play, and 10 drummers and 1 bass player and no keyboard players and 20 other people that think they can sing. And then they get up and they say, what song should we play? And then we hear 3 different bands play Mustang Sally the same night. That's not what I want to do. What I want to do is I want to have 20-minute time slots. And you can either bring your band in, or you can get with the community musicians that we bring that become regulars here, and say, hey, I'd love to play a 20-minute set of, and you name the artist or whatever, and what we'll do is we'll have bands come up and do a 20-minute segment of whatever show they do.
Yeah.
And that will not be a rental situation. This will be an open day.
On a Sunday.
And on a Sunday, I hope that they'll bring in their family and friends, and they'll buy some food at the cafe. Or eventually, when we get the ability to sell alcohol, buy a beer here or there. But but what I want to do is have a 20 minutes on. Then we take a 10-minute break. Then we do another band for 20 minutes and a 10-minute break. And I'm going to have people sign up for it in advance online.
Oh, yeah.
So that everybody knows what time they're going to play.
The time slots already.
They'll use we'll have house gear here. Yeah. We're not going to have set up a drum set in between bands. They can bring in their own. If they're pretty hardcore about their kick drum pedal, and the drummer can bring that certainly, or his own drum throne if it's comfortable seating. But no, we're not going to set up drums and re-sound check them. But again, that would be something and we'll stream it all live. So you can, get a 20-minute copy of the stream if you want. And we're going to have 1 week a month is going to be classic rock. That's kind of where my roots come from. And then 1 week we're going to do jazz with maybe blues mixed in with that if the jazz alone doesn't work. And that's also where I come from. And then my partner comes more out of the hard rock side of things. So we'll probably have and this is flexible, but we'll have a hard rock Sunday in a month, and then 1 Sunday every month I want to do comedy, and I want to let comedians come in and do a 20-minute set. And
comedians,
and they and they can test their material in front of their friends or in front of other people's friends that came in to see the other comedians. And if we get people that are like really good,
have them come back.
We can have them come back and do a show next door.
And that sounds like a great plan.
Yeah,
I mean, like again, you got food, you got service, everything going on. You got a stage. If they become bigger, or for somebody who's starting off, or like they're a comedian and they're just getting in, it's a good thing, right? You have a place where you can kind of build a following until you're able to consider, making a big stage, right? That's your big stage.
Sure.
It's like I can be here, I can stand up, I can fill this place until I can't fill it no more, and then we can go next door.
That's right.
That's now I'm selling big tickets, and I got comfortable seats with a bar and a big screen.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. Yeah. So basically, we're an entertainment complex. We're we want to. If somebody is, really super huge, obviously they're not going to want to play in a place that has 450 seats.
Right.
But there's an awful lot of bands that had a hit in the '60s or in the '90s that had fans back in that time periods that could bring 300 people in or more at $25 to $50 a seat. Definitely. And you look at a model like there's the Kent Stage, that's what they do. There's an old theater down in Massillon that's what they're doing now. They're bringing in music acts that, again, obviously somebody really huge is not going to be an option. We're not going to be able to get Taylor Swift or Snoop Dogg or Metallica to play here, but we're going to be able to get
the medium,
the B-level fan, the bands that had enough hits that they have an audience still. And I have a number of friends that are in those kind of bands that again, if you have an opportunity to play in a place that has 450 comfortable seats, and it's a choice of that or not playing, or a choice of that or playing in a small bar, of course you're going to take this gig.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's a lot of bands that's local or came out of Akron. I'm sure that would love to play in a place like this.
It's an intimate setting.
A place over there. Sometimes just having that intimacy amongst your fans, right?
Well, I don't know if I should say this out loud because it's just a dream, everybody, but we sure would enjoy seeing if we could get Dave Chappelle to.
Oh man, that would be great. Yeah, and he's
because he's an Ohio guy, and so a lot of the guys like that would come would enjoy playing in a smaller venue that's local to their friends and stuff. And I just pulled that name out as one. That doesn't necessarily mean that.
Yeah, no, I mean,
that might be a total pipe dream. He might say, I'm not going to play in a place that only has 450 seats. Yeah, man, but it's local and
it's a sellout. If he 450 seats, it's a sellout.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh God, we could
charges.
450 people was coming.
You bet. And that's just an example of many that could be possible. I don't want to put a limitation on the possibilities.
Oh yeah, man, you got to shoot big. Yeah, shoot
money
big.
Doesn't even come from tickets anymore. The money comes from streaming.
Yeah. Well, there is certainly an element to that too, and and a lot of places are also dealing with making their money on merch.
Yeah. Like the majority of
and you know that you know that more than most because you probably make merch for quite a few people.
Everybody does ticket sales, but then ultimately you want people to buy all your merch first.
You got to
and money goes straight.
And that's why we really have a focused area here for merchandise because if you're bringing your band in to do your stream and you're bringing all your friends,
you definitely
you got to have a whole bunch of T-shirts for them to buy right there, so they can wear a T-shirt that night and get themselves in on your band stream.
T-shirts and on the way out they can too.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Well, obviously each band that does that will have to have somebody running their merch table because that's not something but that's a standard process. Band. That's what
normally you would have somebody.
That's how they. Exactly. And on the merch front, I could probably ask them not to do that.
You should be able to pick it up.
Yeah. Okay. What used to be the concession stand next door will be the merch table for that venue. And I have a curtain over it, but that's the front counter. You guys have been here before. It used to be the candy counter, so you can put your CDs and your I don't know if people still sell CDs beyond my generation. Yeah, I know. I'm showing my age on that one.
I mean, no, but because if you want to get those autographs, you want to have something.
I always want to.
Well, even if you just have a picture for that you sell for autographs, that's and T-shirts and hats and so we'll be set up right there in the front of the Linda Theater for merch. And the concession stand now is in the back, as you guys both saw.
Okay. The remake of the Linda, it makes way more sense to have everything the way it is now. Before we get over there, though, we can still talk. Let's talk about the
cafe games.
Talk a little bit about the game.
Yeah, okay. I'm always ready to talk games.
What gave you the idea to bring the arcade theme to the afterlife?
Well, you know what? I can't take any of the credit, and that means I also can't take any of the blame for the fact that this is a gaming club.
Yeah.
Okay.
I came into the picture 3 years ago, and it was kind of interesting when I first brought my kids over here to see what I was doing. My daughter looks at me and says, "Dad, all your friends here are my age." And I said, well, yeah, because if I hang out with younger people, it's going to keep me young.
Yeah, that's true.
And though I will admit I wasted a whole lot of quarters in games back in the 80s when I was, a rock star wannabe, and the clubs all had Pac-Man machines or Galaga machines. I played my share of games back then, but I don't personally play games. But I understand the attraction of playing games, and every single person that I know plays games all the time.
Yeah.
And the young people here, that was a big part of the original vision of this room, was to make it into a game room club.
Yeah.
And use the ability to buy technology for pretty inexpensive prices, and create game stations that have all the games. So it's not like going into a club that just has one pinball machine and 4 old Pac-Man type machines.
Yeah.
It's you go up to a station and it'll have every Sega game in it. And you scroll through and you pick one. And it's got the game controller, or that machine over there does have all the old Atari games like Galaga and Pac-Man. And then there's another machine that has all of the PlayStation 2 games, and then another one has all the PlayStation 3 games in it. So I do think it's interesting the artistic drive of my partner Dave Schweier that's why you actually see his handmade game consoles that look like game consoles and are painted with drawings that look like something that might have been on like the Doom machine over there has every version of Doom that's ever come out. So it's basically a computer with a monitor that he built into that box and made it look like it's a game machine.
And it's I mean, like the art work all over this place is amazing. I mean, like you guys didn't really miss any details.
I can't take credit or blame for that either. That's all David Schweier. He's a brilliant artist. And just on a really brief side note, I've advocated for this from the first day I saw the vision of what this room could be. And we will also be an art consignment store. I said earlier that we're kind of, it's an ADHD entertainment complex. We don't really
I mean, when you're dealing with internet,
know exactly what we want to do because we want to do everything.
Dealing with music
nothing wrong with that.
and movies, right? I mean, like
and gaming and all goes hand in hand.
I mean, like, it all goes hand in hand in the long run.
It does.
So,
It does.
I would definitely see. Art would have to go in there too, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, like I said, you have like great artwork everywhere. I mean, almost everything. You can look around and point something out different. Like, I mean, like you got the breaking case of glass thing over here with the axe. That's artwork. You have the giant wood door that takes you to the green room.
The zombie painting underneath that. That's because we've got a Wii machine over there. And so we can put a game on and you can shoot zombies over there.
You can shoot zombies.
Or if you want to bowl, you can do Wii bowling.
Wii bowling. I was Wii bowling.
You know what?
I love Wii bowling.
When I was a little younger, the neighborhood used to get together and do Wii bowling. And we'd send the kids down the basement, and we'd all actually think we were good bowlers. Until one of them suggested, we should actually go really do some bowling. It was not a good idea. I actually went so far as to go ask if there was any way they could put the little things that go up in the gutters. They said, no, we don't do that for adults. I said, all right, then none of us are going to have over 100, are we?
So talk a little bit about the Cafe Rewind.
Okay, let's talk Cafe Rewind.
Let's talk about some of the food items on the menu. What do you specialize in?
You know what? It's an interesting concept, and a lot of what is going on here, I again give credit to my partner David. He always had this vision of having a cafe that would be like the cornerstone reason to get people to come in regularly. I mean, as a movie theater or a nightclub, you're only going to have people come in when you have an event. And so a lot of people that would maybe come in and eat lunch here might never have seen what we're doing here until they came in and had lunch. So it's actually promotion for the entertainment complex, but it's also going to be a daily source of revenue, and a place where we've got several employees that are going to be making their living here. So it's also a way of us having a small business environment that creates jobs. And so we just opened the cafe literally last weekend. It had its premiere. And what the food's primarily, it's a ramen noodle bar with, I don't know, I think we got 8 or 9 different options of combinations of things that go with the ramen noodle bowl. And it's interesting, and I've shared this with a number of people, so I'm not afraid to admit this, but I don't come from the ramen noodle generation. So for me, when somebody says, oh yeah, we're serving ramen noodles, I go right back to college and think, when I was out of money and I could buy those little bags of ramen noodles for 50 cents and live for a week on ramen noodles. So that's what pops into my head. But that's not really you younger guys know that there's places all over here that have that are, and that's what this is. This is high quality food.
Yeah.
And when you buy a ramen bowl, it's got fresh vegetables. It's got whichever type of meat you may want to mix in with it. We do pork, brisket, and chicken, and it's all really good. It's interesting. The grocery stores get like the last pick of the meat choices. You can't get a steak at the grocery store that's as good as you can get at the restaurant. Right. Because the restaurant's going through the food distributors, they get first crack at all this stuff.
Right.
So, I'll eat a chicken sandwich here and go, wow, how come chicken doesn't taste as good when I cook it at home?
When I'm at home.
So the food's good. Now, in addition to ramen, we also do, we have a variety of pressed sandwiches, and we have salads, and we also have various appetizers, mandarin oranges and cucumber salads and little things like that too. So there's some options there too, and then we also have a variety of coffees and teas with every flavor you could name that you could mix in and that kind of thing, and the food options are going to expand, but we're never going to be like a steak and seafood restaurant. We don't have a full kitchen or anything like that. It's a cafe.
It looks like you do well with what you do. What you do have.
Yeah, looking at the menu, like you got to look through it earlier. It looked pretty good, man. Everything looks pretty good, and we seen a family over there destroying some noodles.
Oh, there you go.
And every time we walk out and then walk back in, what do you say?
Man, it smells good as hell in there.
Yeah. It's and how we deal with the food service during events. I can't say that we're going to have the full menu at events because maybe
appetizers.
We might just do the sandwiches and more finger foody kind of things.
Yeah.
Because during an event, people are going to come out here, and if they're watching the band and depending on the band or the environment, we might have these chairs all out there with tables. But we might on some events, if we're having a dance night, which I think I could see us doing, having a DJ in periodically and doing a dance night and that kind of thing, and then we can't have ramen noodles spills all over the dance floor. So
I'd say pot noodles,
But with that being said, it has been. We've gotten some very positive responses in the last week. It's been open a week. Obviously we're learning too, and the menu will expand or modify based on what sells well and what people ask for. Mm-hmm. But I think we have a good starting point. Yeah. I had a good friend of mine who works over at Goodyear, who was on an email chain with an organization that we both were involved with years ago that does an alumni party, and we're going to do the alumni party here. And I mentioned that this is where we were going to do it, and he threw on the email chain that he had just had lunch here, and he brought two of his buddies, and we got 3 thumbs up. He said the food was really great, and he plans to go back to Goodyear, where he's worked for the last 30 years, and let everybody know this is a great opportunity for lunch.
Absolutely.
And the fact of the matter is there really isn't that many places around here.
No, there's not.
Where you can go and sit down and have lunch. I mean, I love the Italian Gardens food, but you don't go in there and sit down.
Right.
It's lunchtime. You work somewhere around here. You want to go grab lunch with a coworker or 3. You can come over here and do that. You couldn't do that until we opened this place because there is nothing like that.
Yeah, there is no.
You have to go over to up Britton Road or
under the theater,
over a few blocks. So anyway, the cafe is going to be open 11 to 7 is the normal hours. 12 to 6 on Sunday, I think, is what we've been talking.
Okay.
That may change after we look at a month's worth of history, but please come try us out. I think if you come once, you'll come more than once.
Yeah, man, we have a lot of noodle lovers in the city of Akron. So just on that alone, I feel like you guys, I mean, you should just come try it. I mean, everything looks good.
Because I'm definitely going to try it. Sandwich and noodles.
Thank you for that.
So you want to talk a little bit about the Linda now?
Yes, let's move to the Linda.
Yeah. So we walked in, again, you revamped everything. You changed the entrance so that the concession stand isn't crowding the entrance.
That was an interesting problem, right? I looked at the concession stand and I said, wonder who had this idea. And it was somebody who built the thing in 1948 that put that there. And apparently there have been times when one of the little storefronts next to it was where he bought concessions, I guess. But this was before our time.
Right.
Yeah.
But it just, there was, you know, if you're in if you're trying to be successful movie theater, you got to have popcorn. Yeah. I mean, what you know, the popcorn and the movies they go together, right?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah,
so it's interesting. The dollar amount for tickets and the dollar amount for concessions run neck and neck every time. So people come in and they buy a ticket and then they buy popcorn or a drink, and they're one of our specials that has a big thing of popcorn and a couple of drinks where it becomes a couple.
Yeah, so. I think it's maybe because of this, the local theater is small. Everybody's like, okay, well then we're paying $5. I can afford to spend $25 and buy a bunch of stuff for the whole family, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's not.
You know what? We are very family friendly financially. Because if you have, let's say you have two kids and you want to come see, next weekend we're playing Wonka. Come see Wonka. The previews look really great. We've gotten a lot of good, nice response from the movie companies, our broker and stuff that talks about what the pre-shows or people are saying. Wonka's going to be a big hit, and it's going to be a big hit with young people. And so we've kept our ticket entrance price at $5 to make it affordable. Because we want you to come see the movie, and we just hope that you'll spend another $5 or $10 in the concession stand, because that's also where that we need to. I need to make the payroll with the employees, and I need to at least break even for a while here while we're trying to get people really up to speed with what we have going on there. And so I encourage you to come down. $5 for a ticket. A family of four, that's $20. That's about what you'd pay if you went to one of the big theaters for one ticket. Yeah. And then our concession prices are all very we're reasonable.
The movie ticket price being $5 gives you room to be able to afford popcorn and candy from the concession.
Exactly. And you're going to have more fun if you come in and you get yourself a big thing of popcorn, because it's part of the culture of the movie.
The whole thing, right? Is
you need to
popcorn.
Absolutely.
Staring at the screen.
So the concession stand was right up front, and you got pictures, so you're going to be able to put some pictures into the final mix, but. Where it was, as we talked about, people would line up right in front of the entrance. And so sometimes it was hard to even get into the theater because so many people would line up to get their concessions. And the tickets were purchased out in front, which is an old school way of doing it. And there's a little part of me that thought that was sort of cool. But it's sort of cool in the summer. It's really cold in the winter, when I took over the building, there was even a heater up in the front concession area because it would be so cold. And I just couldn't see making people stand outside in the middle of winter, or for that matter, in the middle of summer when it's 95, and to buy a ticket and then not be able to walk through the people that are standing in the line for the concessions. And the thing was so small, and just it wasn't going to work. And the reason that it hadn't been changed for decades is because it was to code when they built it. So whatever the building codes were for it at that time, it was up to that code.
Yeah.
And so as long as we didn't remodel it, we didn't have to change it.
Right.
As soon as we do any remodeling, we have to do it to code,
Up to code
which is for today,
Right.
which meant that we needed to put sinks in, and we needed
hot water, cold water.
yeah, we needed to basically have, and we should have all that stuff. I mean, I'm not necessarily saying that it isn't a good idea to have a hand washing sink where you're serving food. You know, I mean, that was one of the first things that we looked at. How can they have a concession stand without a sink? That really seems bizarre. So we couldn't. It might have been a later upgrade, but we looked at the situation and we said, you know what, we're just gonna have to bite the bullet and spend, I don't know, it's probably in the $10,000 neighborhood. Even when we did it ourselves, it was still that much. It was $5,000 plus just for the material to build the stand.
Yeah, everything.
But
material's a little higher.
it's 4 times the size of what it was before. It's got lots of room for the people that I have on staff to run it. You know, we've upgraded the room with a full point of sale system. When I took it over, they had a credit card machine, and they used calculators to determine how much. You know, so you bought this, and then they have it on a calculator. How can you do business on a calculator?
Right.
I mean, that's like very 80s. You know.
It's a lot of work. I thought they had the
You know, so now we have the system where you put your card in the front. It's got the little display screen that tells you how much you're going to get charged. You know, it's a touch screen on the other end. I can have all of I know exactly what drinks outsell other drinks and what's popular, and you know, we can track, you know, who's working and what their hours are, and it pays all the taxes. So just modernizing the theater and with a small upgrade like that was huge, and then move the concession stand into the same room where the screen is I think a pretty big deal. It's been open about 4 weeks now, and I would say that the number of refills, which we do half price refills, so you know, on popcorn and drinks, and I would say we've quadrupled the number of refills. Because people can come up, hand you their cup.
I don't want to miss the movie,
and not miss a minute of the movie.
That's really
And
someone has to sacrifice, right? You send the dad out usually.
Somebody's going to go out down to the front. And you know, obviously, we also had to have somebody work down there all the time.
Always stand.
And now we can, after the movie starts, what we do is we leave the theater open for 10 or 15 minutes after we've started the movie, and then we can lock the front door. And everybody can, you know, work through the back area where people are. And you know, we'll keep our eye on the front door if somebody knocks on it. But you know, that way,
you don't have to really.
I don't need to have 3 people on the clock the whole time.
Somebody watching the door.
Just for somebody to stand up front. So so the concession stand was a big deal. Next stage at the theater. You know, I was telling you guys this earlier, and I do want to make it very clear to your audience that we respect the fact that what we have is a vintage movie theater, and it's one of the last vintage movie theaters in this area. That's the way movie theaters were when I was growing up in the 60s and 70s. Every neighborhood had a theater. They were all single screen theaters. With that kind of vibe, we want to kind of keep that vibe,
that feeling,
but that didn't mean that it wasn't time to get rid of the baby blue and the pink, which was the color scheme in there. You know,
that was like the 70s, right?
That
blue.
No, but we did keep the padded walls. Because that's kind of it keeps the vibe, even though we've got a better color on it now.
So
and
you do have the board area.
And the theater itself still, I mean, even with the concession stand moved into the theater, which there was plenty of room back there for it, as you guys saw.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
right.
no, yeah, more than that.
It's not like it gets in the way of anything about the actual theater other than enhance the opportunity to get refills and to be in the room with a much larger area to stand in line and have a couple of different people wait on you versus the way it was before.
Yeah.
So it's a major improvement. And for those of you who know the Linda but haven't seen us yet, please come see us, because I think you'll be pretty surprised how much having the concession stand moved back there has enhanced the environment.
Oh, yeah.
And as we've already talked about, it does give us the opportunity to significantly expand our options for selection of various foods. And we right now, obviously, we do the popcorn and the candy, which is common for. You got to have those at a theater, right?
Right.
But I didn't know how much.
Goes with everything.
I didn't know how many people bought candy. My golly.
Man.
Especially watching movies. I think, even people who don't really.
Yeah. That's probably. I bet you there are places where the movie theater is the only place they eat candy.
Right.
Just chewing it, throwing it back early.
People more tend to buy candy if it's not $5 for regular
A candy bar. Yeah.
Well, we do have three prices on the candy. So if it's like a candy bar, I think our candy bars are $2 and
It's reasonable.
and then the middle price is like $3 and then $4 for the big stuff on the bottom, something like that.
That's
I
still
could be off by 50 cents on
that's
that.
still below the big movie theater average.
We're in some places, in some cases, we're half the price.
Right.
Like the artwork too, man.
Good artwork.
Yeah, man, I like what y'all doing up there.
Yeah, this Dave, we're doing a blog right now for.
Dealing with
You're-
plumbing right
Then that's got to be dealt with. Real world.
Yeah.
We're still putting it together.
You were earlier off camera. We were talking about your plans for the future in the Linda.
You know what?
That's a little bit
I
about that.
appreciate you asking that question because I would love to share some of our future ideas.
Yeah.
And the concession stand was a big first step towards what we can do in the future, because now we can expand what we offer in the concession stand.
Okay.
And that can include things like maybe hot dogs and pretzels, or that, some basic stuff that, people like to see at a movie theater because it's sort of tradition. But one of the other substances that we can also add, and we're in the process of negotiating to get, is a beer and wine license, so that we can offer beer and wine.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily want to look at the movie theater as a place where people can go just to drink,
Right.
because there's more available to you at the theater than just a corner bar that you go to sit and drink in.
Yeah.
But we are going to be the largest sports bar in town with the largest TV screen.
That's big right there.
The largest
That's big.
TV screen in any sports bar in Akron, Ohio, is at the Linda.
We will be there for the games.
And
Be there. Sunday.
next year at this time, I want to be using Sunday
Yeah.
for football games.
Absolutely.
Occasional Saturday if Ohio State's playing Michigan.
Yeah.
Occasional weeknights when the Cavs are losing in the playoffs,
Right.
or when the Deans are going down for some reason or another.
That was would be
Yeah,
great.
but that's going to be
and
big.
type of sports bar. I mean, like, you already got the setup for the most part. You have a stage in front, but you do plan on eventually expanding, right?
You know what? Yes. In addition to being able to play, and we're not going to stop playing movies necessarily.
Right.
We are going to have to stop playing first-run movies because of the way that the time commitment that the movie companies require when you do first-run movies doesn't lend itself to us being able to say, well, we want to play your movie this weekend, but not on Sunday because Sunday is football Sunday, or we don't want to play the movie Thursday because Thursday we got a special event of some type, or we've got a comedian who's going to come in and do a live show on Wednesday, so we can't play your movie on that. The movie companies, it doesn't work that way.
Right.
If we lease their movie,
They wanted the whole
we lease it for a specific time frame, and then that's what we can do in there. So we'll go to second run or old movies when we play movies.
Yeah.
We may occasionally bring a newer movie in if we don't have anything else on the schedule that is, if there's a really cool pay-per-view event that we want to play in there, then we're going to play that instead of a movie.
Right.
Yeah. And so when that happens, then we'll use the movie theater for, again, we're going to be the biggest sports bar in town.
Oh, yeah.
And when I say sports bar, I'm not necessarily just talking sports, because you can go down to the local sports bar in your community, and during the daytime or on weeknights that when there's not an important game on, they'll have something else on.
Yeah, there's always something.
And we're going to actually do the bar type licenses that the bars do to be literally a sports bar that can play media on our screen.
Yeah.
And the next step in the building process for creating what the Linda is going to evolve into is going to be a large stage.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to put a large stage with a nice sound system and lights, and we're going to seek out live performing artists that could sell more tickets.
Yeah.
Because currently we have 500 seats. We'll take 50 of them out for the initially for the stage, and so we'll still have 450
tables
seats.
And seats in the back, and
That's exactly right. And we'll have 500 in there with right out of the shot, and you see the vision. You saw the room, and you saw the space for that. And the thing about it is, if we have 100 people come to a movie, we're going, wow, this is awesome. We have a great crowd tonight. We have 100 people in the theater.
Right.
But then you go down and you look in the theater, and there's still 400 empty seats.
Spread out.
And so you got 100 people in there. If you put 100 people in one of these, the big, theater complexes, that's how many seats they have is 100.
Yeah.
And they'll have 100 comfortable seats in in each of their 12 theaters.
Mm-hmm.
That's really hard to compete with.
Yeah.
So we're not really ever going to
be
able to compete now, because we are not competing with them. We're not charging $15 a ticket and $10 for a hot dog either.
Right.
But we need to fill those seats.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy to have that many seats and not have them full. So we need to have some
specials.
We need to have comedy. I want to bring back comedy. We were talking about this off camera before. I think it's really sad that we don't have more live comedy, because I love to laugh at myself,
Yeah, and there's so much going on in the world right now. Now is the time we could definitely use.
Take a load off.
We are on the same page there.
Yeah.
And so comedy, maybe with 450 seats, if we can find a band that had a couple of hits somewhere along the way in their careers,
legacy acts,
and they could get 300 or 400 people to pay $25 to $50 for a ticket, they're in.
There's plenty of bands out there like that too.
There are. And the other thing that's fairly popular right now, and I was actually in the middle of this circuit for a while, is tribute bands. If we got if it's a local band that's just playing cover music and classic rock, this is probably the room for them.
Right.
They're not going to get 300 people, but
if it's
a really
band,
good tribute band.
Like Kiss band.
I know all those guys. I've been in this. I was a co-founding member of a Heart tribute band that still plays all over the place, in front of big crowds. I just got, after 2 years, I just couldn't keep playing the same 15 songs for another year. I did. I've done some other tribute bands, and they did good. And I've got a lot of friends in the community, so I could get my old Heart tribute band, or Journey, the local Journey tribute band, or there's a Kiss band that or the Metallica Four Horsemen, or I know all those guys. So I get. As long as they have a following that can bring more than 200 people in for a show at $25 a pop or $20 for a tribute band or something like that.
Yeah.
I got the perfect venue for you.
Definitely.
So do you plan on in the future doing the same type lighting situation?
Over there?
Yeah.
We will have a nice light show. But we're not going to have the room light show.
Like this.
Yeah, just more intimate.
The room light show is really for an audience that is here to dance or to or to mosh if it's a metal band or I just first of all, the ceiling's way too tall. I'm not getting on a ladder tall enough to put these lights up there.
Yeah.
Now we'll have a nice row of scaffolding with some cool lights because I'm kind of passionate about that. And we'll have a good professional sound system in there that will integrate the movie theater sound system into. So we'll actually still be able to do the 5.1 thing, which is some of us are geeky enough to have a 5.1 system in our homes, but most aren't. And it is cool to come see a movie or a concert music movie in 5.1. There is something to be said for that.
Yeah, just that immersive sound.
I mean, I could see us playing things like
I can definitely
The Wall by Pink Floyd.
Yeah,
would be really cool in there
for sure.
And then there was a thing that on the note of Pink Floyd where they you played Dark Side of the Moon along with The Wizard of Oz, and they almost sync up perfectly. That'd be fun to do one night.
Yeah, that would.
And there might be some nights when we decide to do a theme night and maybe some actor died, or some
tribute to that.
Woody Allen passed away. Hopefully he doesn't, but he's got to be 110 by now. Maybe do Woody Allen week, or
Tom Cruise or anybody.
And hopefully all these people still.
And I want to do in order for us to stay kid friendly. I want to do cartoons on Saturday morning.
Cartoons. Bring back in nostalgia.
Yeah, and that's going to be filled with grandparents bringing their grandkids, and maybe we'll serve you buy cereal now in those little cups.
Yeah,
they pour a little milk in, and you got your cereal, and I'd like to go do nothing but go back.
Looney Tunes.
I'm talking Looney. It'd be fun to do Looney Tunes one week and Hanna-Barbera one week, and do Yogi Bear and then Bullwinkle and the classic stuff where they actually drew it by hand.
Yeah,
that would be good.
But that doesn't mean that we wouldn't be fun to do a Simpsons marathon.
Of
for
course,
a weekend, where we just do nothing but Simpsons for a day or two.
That would be wrong.
And everybody's seen most of those anyway, so they'll come in and it'd be a social event. You can heckle the Simpsons.
Like a Simpsons did it episode.
There you go. And have them, all the prophetic stuff. Having Trump be president in an episode, or whatever. 10 years before it happened, or whatever else might be, interesting like that. Have it, and we want to have it be a very socially oriented club environment.
Yeah.
So we're actually gonna set it up so that if you want to be a member of the club, you can join for logistics like the exact dollar figure, which will be reasonable. It's still yet to be determined, but you pay $10 to $20 a month to be a member of the club, and then you can come in anytime. And just flash your card and you're in. You can, bring all your friends in and get a discount, and we can do a one-day pass for the $5 that it would have cost you to come in to see a movie, and or maybe do like a $10 with a $5 coupon to buy popcorn or your first can of Miller Lite or $3 for the Pabst Blue Ribbon if we do a Pabst night or whatever. So those are all things that we want to do to expand what the Linda has to offer to this community.
Yeah, for sure.
And
so Linda is very important to this community.
Yeah, definitely.
It is so. It's really entertaining when I do the box office, which I do with some regularity, just so I can interface with the people.
Right.
The number of people that tell me that this has been their home entertainment theater for decades, and they say I used to come here with my grandparents, and now I'm bringing my grandkids.
Yeah,
and
that says a lot.
Yeah, I can say I'm part of that era.
Yeah.
I mean, like as a child, I can remember swimming in the pool, coming over here and getting pizza from across the street.
Uh-huh.
The movie theater, right? You can come in and watch a movie on the weekends for $5. It was always, as long as I can remember, a $5 movie.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
So like it wasn't. It was anybody. Anybody could come. You could grab 4 or 5 people, and everybody
Sure.
go up here. $20, $30 to get you enough a family pack, right?
Yeah.
Large.
Yeah, we do.
The pop, and if you got, that's all you need. Really.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. We bought the wrong size popcorn tubs. When it was just a mistake. My wife went on to order, so we had like at that time when we first took it over, we had 4 sizes, and then she bought these, and they were bigger.
Oh, yeah.
And so we thought, so what are we going to do for that? And now, so the first thought was, we could have taken it back and gotten the other size ones, but we got all these really big tubs, and we actually opened the theater up on DoorDash, and we sell when we're showing movies. People can buy popcorn on DoorDash, and we probably sell,
That's pretty smart.
I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 a day.
Right.
That's cool.
It's
Having that
they'll
option.
come in and they'll buy. Sometimes they even buy candy and stuff. But usually it's popcorn.
Yeah, well, yeah.
You know.
You there, and it's like,
It's- There is something different about the movie
Convenience,
theater
yeah.
popcorn.
Yeah, it is.
It's not the same. I haven't put
Different.
put a popcorn in my microwave since I first started this venture.
Yeah, I would have.
It's different.
I know.
Definitely
It's,
different.
it's like, well, I'm going to eat cardboard popcorn. So we got this big tub, and then we thought, one of our best-selling items, we called it the Jumbo Special, and it was the previous, the jumbo size is what we called the biggest tub that we did have, and then a large drink was like $8, and if you had bought them separately, it would have been $9. So you saved like $1, right?
Save $1.
So we thought, you know what? Most people that are going to buy a big thing of popcorn, it's going to be a couple.
Yeah. Anyways,
You're not going to buy the jumbo by
Not
yourself.
everybody,
No,
right.
you know what I'm.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of us might, but you buy the big one and you share it with somebody. But let's do 2 large drinks and this really big one. We'll call it the turbo. And I think it's $12 for the turbo. And you get 2 of our big, large drinks, and you get the really big thing of popcorn.
That's convenient.
It's our best-selling item.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Who would have known?
I mean, it's perfect for a couple, right?
Yeah.
Or if you got your kids or something, or small
And-
kids.
and if you got
yeah.
Small kids, you can. First of all, it's manageable. Now I can keep eye on these kids with my popcorn and stuff. I don't have to send a kid or like that. I can just take this. But like the kids will share the popcorn. And if they're small enough, I'm sure they could share a soda, and it wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So
Well, we do have a kid pack.
Yeah. And then you
Yeah.
have
And the kid pack is a little drink and just a little tray of popcorn and a little thing of gummy bear, some kind of gummy thing.
Yeah.
And,
Oh yeah.
and that's like $4.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry. I think it's $4.50. And if they want to go with the slushy, it's $5.
Yeah,
Still,
that's
good.
cool.
That's so if you get 2 kid packs,
Yeah.
Yeah, really
and you
reasonable.
come in and you get the jumbo with your
kid pack.
grandpa and grandma come in, they
Still
get
under
themselves a
$30.
jumbo or the turbo, It's a big one with 2 drinks, and then two kid packs and 4 admissions, and you're sitting at $30, $42 for the entire
for the
family of 4.
And you would have been at a big theater. You'd have definitely been spending. I was about to say you'll be spending about $100 just on what you just
right.
You just talking about.
And then
Two adults who go to the movies.
And I enjoy doing this kind of thing, and I appreciate you guys for giving me this opportunity to have a forum to share with the audience and every group that I've done this with, whether it's you guys or some of the competing folks that also I've done blogs with that put their thing up. The more people that know that we're here and that we're not going to go away, we're going to do what we can to keep this area an entertainment mecca, a place where people want to go, where they know they can go for dinner and a movie, whatever else.
It's a great area, anyways.
Yeah, we want to make it a destination again. It used to be, and it can be again. And so the more people that know that what we're doing at the Linda is a great place to come see movies.
Yes, first, but there's also
with the long-term plan.
Yeah, with club, with comedy,
video games,
sports bar.
Yeah,
sports bar. Yeah,
we I don't even know what's happening with the game at this point, but it's a big game today.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah. When we're off here,
Oh no, I just wanted to say real quick, definitely appreciate you having us, Scott. Appreciate the tour and everything. And I know for me, I'm speaking for everybody and in the city, because y'all don't know yet, but y'all will know. It's a lot going on in here, and I'm looking forward to the future, what you got going on, man.
Well, thank you.
Sure.
Be here.
Yeah, man.
I appreciate having you guys in the club too. We're gonna. Which one of you guys is the Ravens fan?
Right.
You know what?
That guy.
He just made me like him. Darn it all.
That's how it works. That's how it works. That's how it works.
No, you know what? We can we'll have so much fun giving him a hard time next year when we're watching the Browns and the Ravens on the biggest TV in town.
Yeah. You can watch all your losses in that bowl. Yeah, you can watch all your losses in our road.
Yeah.
HD on the big screen.
That's it.
Every year we always saying it's the downtown Super Bowl Browns, right? Yeah. So
that's what I'm talking about.
Next year.
Yeah, wait till next year. Wait a minute. I've been saying that for my entire life.
Tired of it.
I don't know if I should really admit this, but there has been, besides the anomaly basketball championship, which I struggle to even know if I should count that.
It counts.
Well, it just when that happened, I didn't even know what to do. I couldn't. We just won this game, and they didn't score for the last 4 minutes of the game.
It was great.
And I need to mute the phone.
I was in the same type of environment watching the game. We were at a bar at my guy's club, and he walked off crying. He got up. He walked off, started crying. I had to go find him, Drew. I had to go. Shout out to Drew. I had to go find him. Like, look, man. He was like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we every one of us that watched that game fully expected that we were going to tank at the last minute, lose, and that was over.
We're setting up that way.
I was in Cleveland at the arena watching it on the big screen.
Oh, were you?
With everybody.
Kyrie hit that 3. I said, "Uh-oh."
You felt the ground shake.
They might do it.
Yeah.
This just might happen.
I didn't. I had thought that it was going to happen in '97 in baseball, so it was. But I have been alive for a Browns football championship. I don't remember it. I was alive in 1964.
Okay.
So it's
Indians almost did it again after the Cavs did in 2016, but they reversed the curse. They were up 3-1 and then let the Cubs.
Yeah, no, that was.
Reversed the curse.
They had a curse too. For like 50
their curse was longer than ours, so that's why that.
It was only right that they broke it.
Had to break it against us. Now, the curse that we need to break next.
It's the Browns.
Browns and Lions.
Yeah.
So we're making that prediction: a Browns-Lions Super Bowl in our lifetime.
Yes.
Maybe not my lifetime, but at least these younger guys.
Eventually.
Seeing how today plays out, it still might be possible.
Yeah, we see it through, man. Next year.
Because technically, the league is still wide open right now.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, we're not going to get there. They might, but we got no.
Really
You know,
Everybody,
I have about as much hope of us getting there as I did of the Cavs winning against Golden State when they did actually win.
Yeah. So it's possible.
So I suppose I could be wrong.
everybody in the league is beatable this year.
If you get
There's not a team
Nobody
that you're
stands
looking
out.
at like, man, it just
See,
frozen
wouldn't
in.
this be fun to be having this conversation
Yeah.
during halftime next door while we're
big screen.
refilling our glasses and hopefully giving this guy a hard time for rooting for the enemy? Yeah.
definitely looking forward to it.
So that's and you know what? It'll bring more men into the theater because it's. I was telling you guys this earlier, and I do find it interesting. Our Facebook page is for the theater is very active, surprisingly active, and we have almost 10,000 people.
Yeah, you said 80%.
It's like 80% women.
Which isn't a bad thing.
No, that's a good thing. I just have to figure out how to market to the ladies, you
How
know.
to bring in some,
And I want them to still come. So we'll have to figure out what they want to come to.
Yeah.
And some of them will want to come to those Browns games we're talking about. But we'll come up with
there's
With
tons
a
of
reason.
movies and
movies, cartoons,
nights and
yeah,
stuff,
theme
yeah.
nights. Oh yeah. The Rocky Horror Picture Show was surprisingly filled with women when we did it a few weeks ago.
it
was-
seemed like on the Facebook page,
Yeah.
on that post about the theater, that was going to end up being a turnout.
Yeah.
A lot of the ladies who stayed right in my neighborhood, they all were on that post.
Yeah. That it was fun to see it, and you know, it could be a fun environment for when we do thematic things for people to dress up accordingly.
Yeah,
I mean,
I would-
we know that we're going to be wearing our Browns garb or our Ohio State jersey when we're here
everybody
for
should-
football games.
so everybody should
You
come
know,
with their garbage.
we show a Star Wars marathon and people come dressed in their their favorite.
Cosplay type of thing.
Yeah.
Like a cosplay type of thing.
Yeah, have a contest and everything. Make it
make it down. If you come here first, right?
yeah,
Show off
exactly.
your outfits and stuff to everybody.
That's it.
And then
That's it.
most on over
You
here.
got that one
Make
right.
it a contest too. Who has like
Yeah.
who has that-
Absolutely, best content. Now, if we did it with the X-Men,
That would be awesome.
Scott Summers is Cyclops.
He was a guy.
Okay.
I respect that.
Yeah. So that's my Halloween costume.
Oh, yeah.
And it even has like fake muscles in it.
Yeah.
And it's got I put a sock in the pants so that it's hanging down.
Yeah, man. That would be
You can cut that out when you're at it.
That's right.
That comes from there's a scene in the movie Spinal Tap, which is a rockumentary spoof on a metal band that was going on a reunion tour in 1982, and there's one scene where they're all wearing their spandex pants that were popular in the early 80s, and they go around and they show the midsections, and they all got a sock going down to about there. And then at one point in time, they're getting interviewed, and the guy, the one guy says, the girls are afraid of us because they're here we are with our. We're playing loud and we've got armadillos in our pants, and then there's a scene later where Harry Shearer is the bass player in that band.
Yeah.
And it's funny, a lot of the voiceover Simpson guys were in that movie. And Harry Shearer gets stopped at by the TSA at an airport. And because he didn't get through the metal detector, and the lady's wanding him, and he goes, "Woo!" And she goes, "Do you have any implants?" And then he pulls out a cucumber wrapped in aluminum foil. All right, so that was the root of my comment with having to wear the sock with my with my X-Men tights. But X-Men night, we have to do that.
That would be amazing. That would be amazing.
Yeah, I think so too.
X-Men night.
We could show like the movies or cartoon X-Men cartoons
All the way through.
and just have it be an X-Men marathon. Come with your costumes. And that's just one example. I mean,
there's
we talked Star Wars and X-Men, but we could be talking.
There's all type of. There's I mean, like you said again, for ladies again. What was
Beyonce just did her
Twilight. They
Oh yeah, they love that. Yeah.
So like Twilight movies. Harry Potter. We do Harry Potter.
Harry Potter, absolutely.
So Kit has the Harry Potter weekend they do, where like the whole downtown park area.
Harry Potter would be great.
Everything is Harry Potter themed and stuff.
Yeah,
So,
did you have costume contests and bring both venues into the event? Like you said, you could do a little bit of eat a little dinner over here, but just as importantly, we could have things going on here. After the movie, we could have the Harry Potter ball. And people could come over.
Smoking. You got smoking.
We got you got the light. We have the music in the background. Could be all theme songs from Harry Potter, and so I think we could really make this a place that is an entertainment center for the community. And one thing I showed you guys, and I just want to reiterate that to your audience. We are counting on having to use the big, huge parking lot that we have behind the building. Because we can easily accommodate, I don't know, would you say that we could get 100+ cars back there easily?
Yeah.
So most of the time when we're doing the movies, people are very accustomed to parking in our little parking lot here in between the two buildings. And a lot of people will park at where the old bank building or across the street. And that's fine, no problem with that. But if we had enough people come to the Harry Potter party, that I would really enjoy needing to use that parking lot back there. And so parking is not an issue. Nobody's going to have to park 2 blocks away.
Yeah, you're right here. I mean, it makes sense you can come in and out through without any issues.
Yeah.
What is the current movie that you're filming? I mean, that's not filming, but
that we're showing.
Viewing.
Today is the last day for it's the Hunger Games. It's the prequel to the series, and it's called. I should know this, and I'm having a senior moment. There's Songbirds and Snakes, I think, or it might be Snakes and Songbirds. It's one of those two. And I watched it yesterday. It was interesting. I thought the Hunger Games movies were pretty good, but I didn't really remember much of them. So now I got to go back and watch those because now I've seen the prequel.
Right, so it's like, I have to,
Yeah, and it's a good movie, but I will say that starting next week for 2 weeks, we're going to be showing the movie Wonka. And it is really getting a lot of hype that's positive. And I've seen the previews. I think it's really going to be a fun movie.
Oh, sure.
So I recommend that.
It's good family movie, right? Yeah. So, what? I'll wrap up soon, but how did you go from being a music man, right? You said you were out with Roland and things of that sort. You were into lighting. How did you go from music into movies?
Well, that's a very interesting question. And I thank you for allowing me the chance to bloviate about myself for a minute.
Yeah, man, you got to, right?
I was, I do come from the musician side of things, and as does my partner Dave. And we've done the band things. We got proficient on the instruments of our choices, and so I've done that whole route, which actually has been a positive for how we created the environment in this room, because little things like the door that's now open behind me, it leads right out to the parking lot, and that's the band load in.
It's
anybody who has ever
God.
been in a band
Yeah,
knows that when you have, sometimes you have a load in, and if there's steps involved with the load in, life can suck pretty bad, especially at 2 or 3 in the morning when you're tearing down.
Yeah, you ready to go? You done performed?
Yeah, I'm tired. I just played for 4 hours for a bunch of drunk people that didn't even care, and now I got to go up and down steps with all my heavy gear. That drove me away from doing that kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
You know, I did move into doing tribute bands, and I did that for a while because at least with tribute bands, I knew I was going to have a pretty good size audience, even if I had to travel. And the tribute bands did travel. We went to other states and did state fairs and Indian casinos and that kind of thing. But I got involved here because I saw where Dave's vision was, and I realized that he was right to a point where having somebody who, first of all, owned a bunch of sound and light gear and video equipment already. I was already on that path from my previous life, and I saw it as an opportunity to bring all my toys over and put them in this big huge sandbox where we could all play with my toys, in the sandbox. And so that was really my first reason to get involved here, which happened about 3 years ago. And it's been a long process because we're basically doing it as much as we can on our own, rather than go into massive debt and that kind of thing. So we're trying to we try to keep, when we do work on it, either we do it ourselves, or we'll bring in friends that are in the business. So we came to a stumbling block because the original air conditioning unit in this building was inadequate. It was 40 years old and was really not an option to continue to use, and silly to try to repair or to change, especially since David gutted the building and it was a completely different layout than it had been when it was originally had the 40-year-old air conditioning heating system. So we got to a point where we really can't do business in here in the summer without air conditioning. Yeah. We knew that, and Dave was renting the building from a gentleman named Ted Bear, who owns a number of buildings and houses in this area and restaurants and things like that, and that's how he has made his living. And Ted's actually a few years older than I am, so he's at a point in his life where he's starting to liquidate some of his assets, so I took the opportunity to have a conversation with him about buying this building. And he gave me a very fair price, and I was able to raise the money to buy this building straight out. That's great. And I had to do that because I couldn't justify putting $40,000 into environmental control in this building that I don't own. Right, yeah. So I had to buy this building. So we went to have a final meeting with him to sign paperwork and go over the details of the sale and configure it so that we would then go to whatever title company, all that kind of sign our life away. And Ted looked me straight in the eye and he said, I'd like to make you an offer. I'd like to give you an opportunity to buy the theater. And I said, okay, well, I didn't actually have also buying the theater in my financial picture here. So it's not like I can come up with
instantly.
And he said, oh no, I figured that. He said, that's no problem. I'll finance you. Yeah. And so he financed me purchasing the building, and he gave me an interest rate lower than the bank is doing right now. Yeah. And
that's great.
What could I What can I say to that? You know, I don't know. I didn't know anything about the movie industry or the movie business. I've never, I'm a poster child for ADHD. I've struggled to make it through a movie without taking a break and going and doing something completely different and forgetting I was even watching it. So I said, well, the big picture vision of the theater is that'd be a great place to have be a live performance hall.
Yeah.
And if I could get some of my music community that I've gotten to know over the years in town, they could play in front of a lot of people if we set that up. So I had to do it.
Yeah.
And initially my hope was to just keep it the way it was, because I figured at minimum it was at least breaking even and I could focus on what was going on here. But it didn't quite work out that way because people that were involved with the business over there were also part of Ted's organization and had to move on for this reason or that. And so I basically had to go in and learn how to do it. And I'm still not there yet, but I'm getting closer. And some of the things we've talked about for the long-term vision, those were always in the plans. As soon as I saw what it was about. But we have to take these things a step at a time because I don't want to throw $500,000 into something and then my life to whoever I borrowed $500,000 from to make something that I'm gonna say we're gonna make sure that it works because we have to. But you're still taking a risk.
Yeah, you don't know until you.
And so that's why I'm asking for the support of our community. Please come see a movie.
I believe
Please come eat at Cafe Rewind. Introduce yourself to me. Give me a reason to be happy to see you come in every single time that you do, and if we know each other by name, that's even better.
And as y'all can see, Scott is a very, very cool dude.
Yeah, man.
So if we telling you he a cool dude, he telling you he a cool dude, just stop in and say what's up to the guy, man.
Get a movie,
Yeah.
You guys are
And a
beautiful
sandwich.
people. I appreciate the opportunity to communicate with your community.
There's no us, so thank you for having us.
Okay, well that's all good. Thank you.
Yeah, a little sway here. That's it, man. We definitely appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Man. Look forward to having you here and coming back, man, and doing more things.
Yeah, by all means. Yeah. If you put your show together,
Yeah.
you look pretty cool standing up here. Did you do a live show, or do you do?
Yeah,
Okay.
he's been in like.